Beautiful, made in Japan, Fender Precision, pink paisley base. It's got some covers on it. We'll clean these vintage frets. Thing I always like to check is the bridge screws. Over time they can actually work themselves loose. Then your bridge isn't that stable. One thing I always do, make sure this screw on the pot is tight. And I like to make sure when I put the knob back on, it's not resting on the metal or it kind of scrapes on there. So raise it up about 1 millimeter, then tighten it. We'll open up the electronics cover and spray them out eventually. Sometimes when these get loose, it turns and then it keeps turning. It doesn't have a nice hard stop at the end of its travel. With an all maple neck, it doesn't take much to clean the fretboard. I usually use Dunlop Ultraglide 65 string cleaner and conditioner. I like to use this stuff called Semichrome polish on the frets and a little mini Dremel. Wipe off the excess. Super shiny and bright. Semichrome works great on all the hardware too. I like to use this stuff called Mitchell's Abrasive cord. Make sure that the nut slots are totally clean before you restring it. It just gets out any old gunk. It's a pain to clean these open gear tuners, right? You can't get at it because those gears are in the way. But if you just take off that one screw, don't lose your washer, get at the plate on that tuner. And just put this guy back in on that side. Just lightly tighten them. Take you something that's a little like Vaseline type material, a little bit in the grooves, then work it in nice and smooth. Always nice to double check your plate screws, make sure they're snug. They tend to work themselves loose over time too, but don't go crank on them super hard. Just nice and hand tight. Do the same thing with your strap pegs. Those always work themselves loose. Before you string up, you can take your favorite pencil and just getting a little lead in those nut slots. You can go out and buy something, but pencil lead works. It's basically graphite. That'll help your tuning stability. There won't be binding in the nut slot. You ever get that crackle? Roll up a little piece of sandpaper to a tube like this. Just clean the tube portion of the jack. The sleeve portion is the part that's gonna fix that crackle. When I'm spraying out the pots, I like to blow them with some air first. That way I'm not just spraying contact cleaner on old dust and dirt that's built up in there. I use this stuff called CRC. I find it at Home Depot usually. CRC QD Contact Cleaner. It costs about probably a third or a fourth of what expensive contact cleaners out there cost, and does a great job. So the setup on this baby is done. She's all clean, and I'll show you the measurements we came out with. Pink paisley P base. The string gauge are 105, 85, 65, 45. We check the electronics, check neck relief, change strings, polished frets, set string height, set intonation, check pickup height, polished the bass, down-tuned it for shipping. String height ended up at 0.080 at the 12th fret, and neck relief 0.007 of an inch, and that's measuring it at the 8th fret, fretting on the 1st and the 17th.